So this next question is actually from a path number 8. And this 8 says, what is the best way for an 8 Ennealogy path who sees others that are further ahead in their growth than they are? And it says, and specifically than he is, to work past jealousy and negativity. I am 22 years old. And I do first want to paraphrase this with thanks for your honesty, because honesty is the greatest level of power. So you already got one leg up on this. If you actually have the issue where you do see others that they have been achieving something or doing something, and then there's an immediate dart like of a larceny, like somewhat of what they would say as a hating, this is for sure a natural reflex of certain paths for a variety of reasons. But I did want to let you know that it's appreciated that you would come in at 22 years old and actually ask, what's up with my hating. It feels this, I feel natural into this with the 8, but it's always about people who are achieving more. Where am I at with all of this? Someone got something special for that over here, Keymakers? You got something special? How to get rid of the hate?
No, I don't think I have anything special, but I would say, you're 22 years old, man. Like, give yourself time to develop. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, this all comes with a level of practice. Where I'm at in my 40s was completely different in my 30s and completely different in my 20s. And sometimes when we're younger, we put that level of stress on ourselves because we want that immediate. I want to be where he or she is at right now without having to go through whatever experience he or she's been through. So don't put that level of pressure on yourself. Like, give yourself time to grow. That's what I would add. And this goes for any number.
I would like
also,
go ahead.
Yeah. Also for number 8, their intestines, they tend to have like a dry constituency because number 8 is a slow, dry planet. So have a look at also your cleansing. How clean are your intestines? Have you done an internal cleanse? Because often whatever you're harboring within might be other parasites and all sorts of things that basically need to be cleansed from the system in order for you to then have more self-acceptance and move on. So wholeness.
The one thing I wanted to say about this awareness of your dark nature regarding the number 8 is, I think, takes you a long way in the self-knowing, knowing yourself that, hey, I'm a bit, dowdy or, jealous of other people. So don't be too hard on yourself, but because there's no right or wrong, just understanding your own dark nature so that you can see the opposing, behavior, so that you'll know exactly where you want to be. That's what I would say about the number 8. Go ahead, Paige.
Wholeness. So being a 9, I bump into a lot of 8s. And so very close 8s, actually. And so what I've noticed about them in coming into Ennealogy, a lot of the 8s that I know are heavily in the entertainment industry and known really well. And so as an 8, hey, take it slow. You'll have your day in court. You'll have your big grand recognition. You just have to go within and not be focused on what's going on externally. How come I'm not getting there? You'll get there once you go within. That's the thing about an 8's journey. Your journey is about empowerment. You'll have it all. You're like the master of this system that we have going now. You're able to easily manipulate things and maneuver things and do things as you wish. You are your own governor. The governor. You don't have to, hate on whatever else is going on. This is what you run. And so as an 8, you have to know that, because I've seen where there has been some imbalances with 8s. If they're not balanced, you have that energy that you can send things through an infinite loop, like the 8 energy, this infinite loop. And you can send others in an infinite loop as well, with your own natural magic that you have. So, to remember that you have it all. You are the all, So that's my take on that.
And just to jump in on the 8 energy being that Saturnal energy, I remember years ago being told that you'll get that in time. You know, you're going to get it. The power is going to come in time, and so allowing for the maturing to happen over time. But in the meantime, because it's like, okay, so that's cool, but what about today? Is to get into your own uniqueness. And there are ways to tap into what is unique about you. We talk about everybody has, a unique fingerprint, thumbprint, footprint, the spiral of your head. There's a uniqueness that is just yours. And when you really find it and tap into it, it's not something you do. It's not, it's a lot more fundamental than, how we might want to describe it. For example, some people might say, okay, I'm unique and I'm going to get this tattoo, but everybody has a tattoo now. The tattoos might be different, but the uniqueness goes, really to the core and the essence of who you are. And that search and that find does begin to eliminate the jealousy, because everybody has it, everybody has it. And it begins to allow you to cultivate a really appreciation for what your uniqueness, your gifts, but then that of everybody else. And because you don't need theirs, you got your own, there's nothing, there's nothing that's greater than what you have, because this is yours. You can only otherwise be a copy of someone else. So there's no need to covet anything because you have it all. So.
And also 8 is a very sound path. Like, obviously it's related to time. And so at 22 also, I mean, that says it all right there. Is, especially 2 + 2 is 4. So you're halfway there. So what does that other half actually consist of? Because it's very fractal like. And when we look deep into the path of the 8, they're actually tied into skills, like a craftsman. Things that take some time to actually learn how to do, but then you're able to bring it into mastery. So I would for sure say that if you wanted to collapse time, because that could be like a real phobia right there. It's like, oh my goodness, if I'm an 8 and everything is associated with long hauls, things that take a lot of time to build, like riches and jewels and those kind of things, and that's all that path. But I'm only 22, so this means that I got a long time to actually wait. That's not necessarily the case. What it is, though, is that you have to put the dedication into actually learning a real skill that you forge with. And then technically, the faster that you do that, you will be collapsing the time with what you would want to receive with a skill. So you got to hone into something. It's like right now, I put Ara on this piano software. Actually, she asked for it. This like little, she's got a piano, like a keyboard, and then it has obviously the holder for the notes. And you put a little iPad there. And there's a program right now that they have for kids and adults alike, where it's like the easiest way for them to learn piano. And I was even walking in there on her today, and she's still in there learning. Like she's found something that she likes to do. Now it's going to take some time for her to learn piano, but what she's going to come out with is she's going to come out with a skill. And then that skill is going to also teach her, through what she learns in music, a lot of things about life. So at 22, as a Sister Gail is saying about the uniqueness, she's saying directly, you need to find your uniqueness and start developing that skill, and stop focusing on everybody else and what they've achieved and what they've done, because you're just wasting the time. You're wasting time that if you didn't waste that time, you would be exactly where they were and beyond in many cases. So it's just how to collapse time, dealing with the subset. Also, I do want to paraphrase everything that we're saying here today. Like, nobody is specifically one number generally. Like, they have traits and things that have acted on them that give them a little essence of other things. Actually, we have an essence of everything in us in these paths. So I also don't want this to become where you feel like that you're being put into a specific role and this is being cast over you. You're like this. Actually, the easiest way to use these powers, which is to have fun, as Neva was mentioning, our last Keymakers, the easiest way to go through this is to actually start figuring out how to use your alchemy, where you're like, okay, yeah, this path is a little bit on the jaded side sometimes. It could be a little dark and melancholy. So I need to bring in some sun in my life, or I need to bring in some love in my life. That's also a good mate for the number 8 is a 2, where there's a lot of love. There's a lot of getting out of that whole brittle aspect of seeing things, because you got to admit that when you're having fun and you're smiling, you feel comfortable with where you are, you're not really looking at what other people have and feeling that that's something that you want to achieve and you're upset about that. So this does have a lot to do with your direct environment and how you're perceiving, like, what is next for me. And as a number 8, is going to try to have that plan out there. This is what's next. I'm going to do this. Once I get this trade, then I'm going to develop that. Knowing that plan is key, because when not knowing it, you could be looking at somebody else and be like, man, see, how are they getting there? And I know but you don't actually have a plan yet to unlock that aspect of yourself. So just some insight on some practical stuff to really look at and to see how, you can get into another state with yourself that you'll be more comfortable with what's happening. And as Life said, still remember you're 22. So even everything that we're talking about right now is wise words. I'm a big fan of, if you could take these wise words, you will be as old as the oldest person here on the line, and 2-3 times older than that person if you put it into application. So this is how you kind of defeat the whole time thing, because 8 has that power as infinity, by not saying, it's not like a physical time that you got to wait until you're old to enjoy things. It's that you need to do things like an old person, if you may, like an elder. You need to be, very vetted in how you go about this, and be serious about how you're going to get your craft happening and what's going to go on. And that's why what Paige was saying about a lot of actors, directors mainly, a lot of them being 8s, because they're very serious. Like, you imagine that now you get this person on the set, they think they're the hottest star, and you got this upstart that has got all this energy thinking they're going to become the hottest star, but you got to tell both of them how this is going to be done. And that's really where the 8 comes in. But you got to know about that stuff, because even a natural talent is going to sniff that if you don't have the skill. But natural talent respects the skill. I want you to be aware, in music, the natural talent that still knows how to play it is always looking for the mentor that knows the skill. Like, I can tell you the harmonic chords, I can tell you the Pythagorean scales, the fourths, the fifths, every single thing about the history and the knowledge of music from the time that we started beating on our chest. And that level of I'm weathered in this, I know my stuff. That's where the 8s really find themselves really thriving and doing well.